The truth is that the light or the good never actually goes away. It never stops shining in our lives. It's just that there are some times when we're feeling more connected to the divine, the source, the light, the universe, God, creator, whatever the term is that you want to use. There are some times when we're feeling more connected, and there are times when we're feeling disconnected. There are many times, as I'm sure you know, where you just feel tapped in, connected to the infinite intelligence, and there are other times where the illusion and your ego is louder because of the blocks that we've created. Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I'm Rosa, and if this is the first time that you're seeing my face, then welcome. It's so nice to have you here. In today's video, I explain how it's possible to see the good in everything in our lives, how to remove the blockages that prevent us from seeing the light and from seeing the good that's constantly flowing, how to shift our perspective, and how to attract more blessings and more good things coming into our life just by a simple shift of perspective that I'm going to be offering you in this video. Now, I know you probably read this title and you're like, everything? I don't know about that. But listen, here's the first point I want to say, and that is that everything starts with a desire. If you don't really want to be a happy person and constantly see the good in everything, or you don't believe it's possible or that it can happen, then it's probably not going to happen for you because you don't have that desire there. And if you don't have that desire there, you're just going to revert back to your natural tendencies, what's familiar to you. And what's familiar to most of us, what's our default, is not to have this positive, optimistic attitude, but it's to allow our ego, allow the illusion to run the narrative in our minds and constantly tell us stories that everything's constantly going wrong, nothing works out for us, whatever the stories are that keep us in a low place. If we don't have the desire to detach ourselves from that voice, then again, it's not going to happen. So this really comes down to, is it a desire of you to be a happy person? And maybe consciously you're like, yeah, of course. Like, why would anybody not want to be happy? But then there's those subconscious beliefs that are like, but being happy is unfamiliar. But being happy and seeing the good in life and in situations means that something bad is going to happen right after. Because as soon as I'm happy, something bad always happens. Like, I want you to become aware of the stories that you have blocking you and they're triggering you or raising questions in your mind when you read the title of this video or when you hear that you can view everything as good. What are the stories that pop into your head? I want you to just take note of those. But of course, if you're watching a video like this, then I have a feeling that you have that desire, you have that deep core wanting and conscious desire to change your mindset, to begin to see everything as good. So we really have two options in our life, and we can choose to always see life's shortcomings, why things are always going wrong. And in fact, this is the easier option and this is the default option. But it takes effort to flip it and change the narrative and see the good. So because of that, I applaud you for even being here and deciding that this is the new life that you're trying to create. You're trying to step away from this old identity, the version of you that constantly ruminates, that constantly creates negative stories and scenarios and constantly jumps to the worst case scenario conclusion and all the negative thinking and bad things happen to you and you respond poorly. Like all those stories, we're gonna let them go, hopefully by the end of this video. Negative thinking does not have to be our default. We have that power to change our mindsets, to change everything. Life is a byproduct of the way that we think. So let's get right into it. I want to start by saying that, starting to think way more positively in your life, it's a process, okay? It's not going to happen overnight, but it is going to develop over time by you rewiring your brain and shifting and noticing the negative thoughts, recognizing them, and beginning to switch them to the positive. I want you to realize truly how freaking powerful our minds are. Our reality truly is a reflection of our inner worlds, of our minds, and whatever it is that we focus on and what our perspective is laser focused on. Like, just to give you a small example, let's say you go to the sunglasses shop and you buy a new pair of sunglasses. They're super cute. You're like, oh my God, I've never seen anything like this before. I love these sunglasses. You buy the sunglasses, boom, you got them, right? So now you're wearing the sunglasses, you're walking around, and all of a sudden you look around and you start to notice, people all around you are wearing the same sunglasses as you. you've never noticed them before, but all of a sudden now your focus was on it because you just bought a pair. Now all of a sudden you start to see everyone wearing the same kind of sunglasses, and you're like, what the, like, was it always like this? Or did it just become like this now that my focus is on it? And the truth is that the sunglasses were always there. People were always wearing those sunglasses, but your focus was not on it. So that's not what you were picking up. It's not what you were seeing reflected to you in your reality. So this just shows the power of our minds, and where we put our focus on is what we're going to get out of life. So bringing it back to seeing the good in everything, if we're constantly focused on seeing the negative outcome in every situation because maybe we just expect people to be a certain way, because maybe we just expect that bad things happen to us, when our focus is on negativity and on worst case scenarios and on things are always going bad for us, if that is where our focus is on, then that's what we're going to see and extract out of life. But if we have the mindset and the belief system that everything goes my way, everything's constantly flowing to me, people are constantly generous to me, even when a bad thing happens to me, it's just a redirection. It's just, it's just the universe trying to teach me a lesson. Like, when we view life in this way and we have our focus on life in this way, that's what we're going to get reflected back with. Everything is a reflection and a mirror of our mind and where we put our focus in. So that's why the power of our minds, the power of our focus is so important, because the way that we perceive the world is going to be the way that the world shows up for us. You're always going to get what you're looking for. When bad things happen to us, or let's say challenging things happen to us, and challenges happen to every single person on this planet, just on different levels and different scales depending on the person and what their correction is in this world, what their different baggage is that they come to this world for, and depending on their level of consciousness and where they're at in life and their circumstances. Regardless of any of the external things though, we all face internal challenges. That's a fact, right? But we really only have two choices on how we can respond to challenges coming into our lives. Really only two, okay? We're either one, a victim, or two, a creator. Okay, that's it. Being a victim means a challenge comes to us and we have no control over it. We are a victim to life. Life is just out to get us. Things just don't go our way. Life is just unfair. People are just unkind. People are just sneaky. People are just XYZ. My life is just XYZ. The universe just has it out for me. That is being a victim of your life. Feeling like I don't have the power over my mind to see whatever this challenge is in a more positive way, right? Our default, and by the way, it's okay if you think this way. I'm just shedding light on these two different mentalities, because we victim mentality is the default. But to get to the mentality of the creator consciousness, that means that you're in control of your life. So a challenge can come into your life and you can feel that pain, right? This isn't spiritual bypassing. This isn't being naive and neglecting the fact that bad things do happen and challenges do happen and come into our lives. But being the creator is getting a challenge, feeling what you need to feel, and saying, okay, I don't see the full picture right now. I don't understand why this is happening, but I have the trust, I have the certainty, I have the awareness, and the knowing that this is somehow for a greater good. I know that this is going to grow me to my next level. Now, I want to be clear again that seeing things in a more positive perspective is not being naive, right? It's not pretending that bad things don't happen or exist. It's also not bypassing our emotions, but it's about having that duality of knowing and acknowledging and seeing and feeling in your body that pain that is coming, but yet at the same time holding that duality of, I understand that this is for a purpose, a greater purpose. This is serving me for my growth. This is a lesson, and I choose how to see what is currently happening to me in my life. I'm not a victim of it. I get to choose how I'm perceiving whatever it is that's happening. And that doesn't mean it's going to be easy, but that's why I said this is a process. This is a mindset shift that is absolutely possible. And believe me, I wouldn't even be sitting here speaking to you today about it if I didn't experience this myself firsthand. I actually had a situation come into my life recently where it was a business partnership, and things were not going according to plan for either parties, and there were little miscommunications that I'm obviously not going to get into, but things were happening, right, in my personal life, in this business partnership, that externally, you know, it was a challenge. I was being faced with a challenge, but I realized, and trust me, past me would not have been like this. I asked this exact thing to myself. I said, okay, I am not the victim in this situation, right? How can I be the creator here? How can I take whatever is happening, and instead of feeling a victim to the circumstance, how can I be proactive about it? How can I grow to my next level? Because I know that on some way, like, this is some test between me and the universe. I even said to myself, like, this isn't even between me and this person. I'm gonna pretend this person doesn't even exist so that I can deal with this, just me and the universe, just me and the creator, right? Me and myself. How this is a challenge coming to me so that I can grow to my next level. Okay, how can I react? It's not about that person. It's not about the external situation, whatever it is that's testing you and putting you into a negative headspace. It's all about, what is this teaching you? How can you grow to your next level and become a happier person out of it? And not just out of it, but how can I actually be happy in the process? Oof, that's a whole nother deep level of knowing and trusting so much in the process, and so much that everything turns to good, that you're actually feeling positively while the challenge and the pain is happening, because you can hold that duality in your own mind. Actually, while I was going through this situation with this business partner, my dad gave me this quote, and I think it was the Dalai Lama that originally said it. I'm not quite sure, but my dad told me this quote. He said, "Pain is necessary, but suffering is optional," right? It's good that you're feeling this pain, but there's no reason for you to suffer. There's no reason for you to drag this on longer and create movies and create stories and go into this negative ruminations of things constantly need to be going wrong. In reality, what's happening right now is happening right now. I can feel the discomfort in my body. I can feel that pain. I don't need to escape it. I can feel it. But then after feeling it, I need to be proactive. I need to be the creator of my life, not let this bring me down to a lower level, but ask myself, how can I raise myself above the level that I was even previously at? How can I become a better version of myself from the situation, because I am the creator, not the victim of circumstances? Now, I want to get a little bit deeper right now into this Kabbalistic concept that Kabbalah calls klipot, but I'm going to be referring to it as energetic curtains, okay? So basically what these energetic curtains are they are curtains that are blocking us, our body, from our soul, from the light, from the creator, from the divine. Because like I said in the beginning of this video, the light is constantly shining, right? The same way the sunglasses were always there. Our focus just wasn't on it. The light, the creator, the divine, the universe is always shining in our life. Our focus may just not be on the light and the creator. So, like I said in the beginning as well, we create these energetic blocks, these energetic curtains, or these klipot, that we add up and build up and build up and build up throughout our lives, that block us from seeing all the good, all the light that's in our lives. But just because we have 1,000 curtains blocking us from this source of light itself, does that mean that the source of light is not still shining? No, it means we just need to remove some layers of these curtains that are blinding us and not allowing us to be in that full connection, full understanding, full truth of what is the reality, which is that there is always good. So the light is always shining. It's just either brighter in our lives or it's dimmer depending on how many curtains we have up. And some people have way more curtains in their life than others, and that's okay too. People are born into this world with different amounts of curtains that block them from the light. I'm using the light because Kabbalah calls God, creator, infinite intelligence, universe, the light. So that's the term I'm referring to, and it makes the most sense when you think about like the sun and the light and then curtains. So that's just the terminology I'm using, but of course it's interchangeable. Please substitute it for whichever terms you resonate with. But there are some people where throughout their entire life, they have so many curtains up that they get barely any light, right? They can't see any light at the end of the tunnel. There's no good in their lives, and it's a very sad reality, of course, but that's just kind of how it works. There are some people that have way more curtains up. There are some people that have way less curtains up. The key is, though, understanding this concept is that you now, especially if you know this concept now, you have the power to remove curtains and make yourself closer to the divine and seeing the truth of reality. And to be clear, this is a mindset, right? This is an energy shift. This has nothing to do with the physical reality. This has nothing to do with you know, someone has more curtains because they live in a worse situation. No, somebody can be a freaking Kylie Jenner, a millionaire, a billionaire, and have a bajillion curtains up and not see the light. But somebody can live a very unprivileged life and still be in direct connection with the light and be a happy person. So it doesn't actually matter what your external reality looks like. This has all to do with our energetics, with our mindset, and with our perspective, and with our focus, which is why our focus is so important, because you can have everything. You can manifest everything that you desire, but if your mind is disconnected from the light, then you're not going to be a happy person. You're not going to see the good in everything, and that's going to be the quality of life that you're living. Okay, so now that that's out of the way, I know you're wondering the big golden question, which is, how do I remove these curtains? How do I remove these blockages, this klipot, from blocking me from seeing the light or being in connection with the light and feeling like everything is good in my life? And there's a simple answer to that. And the answer is that challenges give you that opening, give you that opportunity to remove those curtains. You can only remove curtains once you get a challenge, because it's all about how you respond. Are you going to be a victim, or are you going to be a creator? In those moments where you're being tested, where you're being challenged by the universe, by seemingly the external world, how are you going to respond? Challenges are like a punch in the face from the universe that we need to change something and that we're ready for an up level. Sometimes we'll ask the universe for an up level in our lives. We want to manifest something great, and boom, you're going to get a challenge right there and then to see, are you ready for this thing that you're asking for? Are you able to respond with the creator mentality? Understand that what I want is still coming for me, that this is put in my path in order to remove blockages so that I can have what I'm asking for. The only way to get what you're asking for is to go through challenges. Now, again, I want to reaffirm that I'm saying challenges and not suffering. Suffering, sorry about my text by the way, suffering, like I said, is not necessary. We can actually choose to be proactive about our decision to change and be the creator, like I said, right? We don't need to be a victim to life. We can be the creator. Now, that was the premise of this video. I do want to include one last thing at the end of this video. I want to talk about the situations where you can't see any light at the end of the tunnel. For these situations, it may bring you peace to adopt the perspective that these challenges are elevating your soul. Kabbalah also teaches that our souls come down for specific purposes. I actually made a video about this. I will leave it above. But our souls come down for a specific purpose, and our souls chose the challenges and the hardships that we're going to face in order for our soul to elevate to its next level, right? Because this life is temporary, right? This is just the shell to hold our souls. Our soul is the real journeyer, right? So we are just experiencing the challenges that our soul needs to go through in order to cleanse and get to its next level. So it may bring peace of mind to know, like, if there's something that you really don't see the light, say, I still trust and I understand and I know deeply that this is the process that my soul needs to go through, and then hopefully, you know, of course, feel what you need to feel always, but with that understanding at the same time, right? It's not going to feel good right away. You're not going to just shift your perspective and see the good in everything. But your soul came here for a process, and every time you pass the test, your soul can elevate to its next level. This is the last thing that I want to add into this video, and that is to see the good in our lives. I want you to just bring more good vibes into your life, right? Do more things to be more present in the moment. Even the little tasks, even the tiny little things in your life, make them fun, make them enjoyable. See the good in the little things, and that will trickle and translate into you seeing the good in the big things in your life. Constantly refill your cup with gratitude and put your focus, put your perspective on the good. That is the way that you're going to see more good. Like attracts like. The more you think good thoughts, the more good things are going to come to you, right? Have more gratitude, and that opens your heart up to receive more things to have more gratitude about. Be mindful, be present, feel more gratitude to let the light in that is always there, that is always present. Let it into your life and to call in more. So that's all for me in this video, guys. I hope you got value out of it. If you did, please leave it a like and a comment down below letting me know what was the most valuable thing you got out of this video. Also hit the subscribe button for new videos every Tuesday and Thursday. And without further ado, I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye! Love ya.